I alive? I forgot to change game capture. There. I am most certainly not the person to go to if you can't sleep. Notoriously bad about sleeping myself. Let's clear your notifications real fast. Sleep at 3 a.m. Usually it's like 4 or 5. But that's what copious amounts of caffeine is for. I'm turning nocturnal. As you even get daily. Yeah, for some reason my wilderness is just messed up and lags constantly. Well, not constantly, it's not right now, but... to 1 p.m. I mean, at least it is the correct amount of time. That's what matters most. Put you two here. The two. Like, it's weird because once you're actually in it, it's perfectly fine. It's just specifically when you're entering it.
Enough. Yeah, I can't answer that.
I'll still have the creator notifications, but I barely bother with those anymore. Just gotta wait a little bit more. Yeah, I think my internet's being a goofy. Here. It just started the actual story before my internet just stops. Seeing Kanya. What's worse than the journey? Wins, boss, meet. What's worse than the journey? Second reason behind the urgent need to improve transport security. I was losing some frames. I've only dropped 500 frames. It's fine. Ship models made of bone. Delicate painted eggs. Rusted parts in yellow. Scraps of draft paper. Old pieces hastily thrown together, somehow from an unexpected harmony.
Number 136 from near the Colima Mountains. Tells the tale of the Polar Star icebreaker. The crew suffered some kind of mass hysteria. The same thing happened later in the Kola Peninsula.
Pulling all nighters every night? Hopefully not. He labels the notebook, writes down its number, and stores it
Our
away.
destination is close to the Arctic Circle. With any luck, we should get a great view of the aurora.
Oh, there he is. Finally. Name gay.
Name day. Investigator for St. Pavlov
1980
Foundation.
what?
Currently serving for Far East Branch. Why did I join this project? Well, it is a job, and I like to do as I am told. Neva River, Lake Ladoga, Sphere River, then Lake Onega. It takes less time to travel by water. Maybe I can even buy a small gift along the way. What sort of specialties does Mirny have other than diamonds? Oh, maybe I can stop by Petrozabotsk on my way back.
He examines the map, plotting out a workable route.
Looks like I'll have to walk the rest of the way after landing. Oh, Plesesk, a place of boundless snow
Stay
and
past 3.
not much else.
Fortunately, endless white fields of snow are something which he has a wealth of experience.
Trying to reach the stars in order to monitor the storm from space, huh? Sounds like a good gig,
Markiplier.
even if it does mean being stationed at the northernmost frozen tip of the world.
Joke's on you, my body refuses to sleep unless I'm up past 3
Maybe it
a.m.
will go nowhere, but what would it be without a little pioneering spirit?
In legends, a meteor may signal incoming disasters or foreshadow good fortune. Like the eternal soul, it all depends on what the viewer chooses to believe.
Ленинград находится как раз по другую сторону этого
Just
снежного
up your sleep
поля.
time. And it's always been like that. Later. Like the thing is, I've always just never been able to sleep past 3 a.m. Even like during school, when I would have to get up in 4 hours. Inevitable.
Я позволю этому метеориту указать мне путь.
In the end, he made it to Leningrad.
The Foundation never gives me a break, which I guess makes me equal parts lucky and unlucky.
Mr. Name Day?
Yep. Hold on.
As the door opens, a bundle of energetic fluff appears, orbiting at his teacher's feet as expected.
I heard you were leaving for the north on a new mission. Is that true?
Just for an errand. The Far East branch is short on staff right now, so I'm going all on my own. Miss Winsong should be on a field trip there. Is there anything you'd like me to give her?
Where is it? Is it north of Ryashki? Could I come visit there with Vila?
Children speak more directly, but the mention of a familiar place brings a few seconds of silence. Through name day the cowboy too.
Well, so long as you finish all your classes and get good grades, I'm certain you'll be able to go anywhere with Miss Vila. As long as it is safe.
What? Perfect. It's Catboy.
But things could change. I can't promise anything. Except maybe a little souvenir when I get back. Now, August, do you have anything you want me to give Miss Winsong?
Yes, and Vila does too. I've written lots and lots of things. Comrade Winsong can read them when no one is there to tell her a bedtime story. And this, from my tallest and most spirited sunflower guards.
He fumbles through his coat pocket and pulls his most prized
You must
possession.
not water them too much, and they should be placed somewhere under the sun.
Vila passes an envelope over, placing it
I'd
next
like
to the
this to be
seeds.
delivered to Miss Winson. She said in the last letter that she had started to teach again, and it was more difficult than she remembered. I wrote a little bit about my own experience teaching. Hope it helps. And please, talk to her if you have any ideas. You're so good with kids. Nina, Piotr, and Pasono ask about you all the time, always wondering when you'll visit again.
I didn't ask.
Get for
I know how busy you are, Mr.
minor
Atwood.
spelling mistake.
And so is Vila. Every day she's either painting something or talking to the white clothes.
With any luck, I'll be free for a while after this mission. I'll come back and do some magic for you kids. What do you say?
He crouches and hooks his finger around the leaf of the wobbling sunflower.
Deal?
A good comrade must always keep his word.
The fuzzy hat bobs up and down twice, an earnest and sincere nod. The conversation shifts back to the two adults.
Sounds like you've been doing well recently. The Foundation's textbook is an easy read, but I really hadn't expected just how effortlessly you'd be able to make your lesson plans.
Lesson plans are nothing compared to field missions. Just keep this in mind during your errand. Your safety is our first priority here.
Of course. But the good news is I'm quite familiar with this era.
Through the Windows era, the city hasn't yet reverted to its old name, St. Petersburg. Talk like this always seemed to circle back to that little town swallowed in snow. Now's not the time for that.
Anyway, I'll make sure Miss Winsong receives August's seeds and your letter.
Thanks a lot. I don't want to make our goodbyes here too long-winded. Just take care. Especially since you're going to be all on your own.
Well, I won't exactly be all on my own.
Hey, so any idea how far off this place is? I think we must be pretty close.
This thing's
I
back.
can't wait to see that unmistakable Laplace metal roof.
Too long.
I've actually got some business lined up here near me. Those diamonds of theirs are certain to fetch a tidy profit back in the East Branch.
I should have never let you out. Can we make a deal? You stay quiet, and I'll get you safely to our destination. Then you can say whatever you've got to say to whoever made the mistake of inviting you here.
That actually has the voice lines now.
You know you really like to talk. I'm beginning to understand why no one else would take this job.
Whoever heard of a merchant who doesn't like to talk? Huh, admit it. You'd be burned to tears if I were not here.
The chatty salamander is tucked under Name Day's coat, its muttering smothered along with it. Skill
Quiet.
issued.
Bandit in Arctic Circle? That's new.
Nearby snowbanks serve perfectly as cover, shielding Name Day from view.
Where is he? I saw someone coming this way.
We can't let him get any further. There's some kind of military base up ahead, and it's heavily guarded. Think how far we've gone. We can't go home empty-handed. That arcane item they've got is probably worth a few sharpadontes, don't you think?
Item? Hey, I'm a living, breathing creature.
Curse is
You
released.
don't need to yell at me. Say it to them if you like.
A branch heavy with snow snaps. I can't speak English. A branch heavy with snow snaps, and is broken to a stick that fits his grip comfortably.
What? Are you sure? Oh, never mind. What should I do?
Anything. I just need you to draw their attention. I am not letting them anywhere near Plesetsk.
This way! I hear something! Keep up!
A dark shape juts out of the snow. The odd appearance of the strange metal vessel draws every eye.
大姐，留下买路财。
Namegate's blade lands right in time, stopping the hand reaching for the vessel.
Sablia.
And murder time. Yeah, it's murder time. Oh, there he is. Me throw Aleph in here.
In the infinite loop of time.
Which of these darlings shall we attend to first?
I'm far too over leveled to care about team composition. Now you might be biting off more than you can chew. No trick won't work. You a single coin in the hat. No style in your hand over the talking pot. If you didn't say I didn't warn you.
Don't worry.
Perfectly understood.
Mine's the blade.
A blessing bestowed by fate.
Please, allow me. I look forward to
It can be hard
punishing
to reach
you.
an understanding.
Oh,
Whatever you say.
Feel my dark embrace.
ridiculous.
And murdered.
Finally, it's just you and me, Master.
Namegate tosses aside his stick and scoops up a handful of snow. The robbers' footprints trail away into the distance. They had one redeeming trait, to knowing when to cut their losses.
What we waiting for with that knife?
Oh, well, it's more of a collectible than a weapon. But I guess you understand now why they sent me to escort you instead of hiding you in the back of some truck, huh?
I didn't see a single truck heading for places called our whole journey here. By the way, was that knife thingy part of our kin skill? Why don't you just make a gun instead? Times have changed, friend. Blades are out of date. You should give yourself an upgrade and start blasting.
Knives are cooler though.
Nah, I'd probably be serving with Xeno if I was any good with guns. Have you ever heard of that legendary pilot from Xeno, the Baron Switch? If you were really important, then you would get a guard like that. All that being a noisy little salamander gets you is a guy that can turn trash into knives.
That's nearly the most useless arcane skill I've ever heard of. I say nearly, because it's still better than mine. So, I'm not in a position to criticize.
What does your arcane skill do?
The salamander's silhouette flickers, crumbling into a puff of ash. Then, The blink of an eye reforms itself.
That's it.
It's certainly something.
The rest of the journey is at least blessedly quiet. The destination draws near. The outlines of the building take shape. Someone is already waiting in the snow.
Miss Winsong.
The so-called isn't nearly as grand as imagined. Surrounded by the vast expanse of white, people in tall buildings alike feel small.
Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to Plisyetsk.
When gambling, I don't think I even have funds to gamble. I have 2 pulls. There's 1.
Congratulations! You are about to...
And there's 2.
Welcome to sail with us!
Got a parody of a parody newspaper. Gambling stream. If I just save up like 100 and do them all one by one. Letting the animation play in full each time. The wilds in the garden. Don't feel guilty. Every flower once struggled just as you do now. Bulls versus winning big.
You arrived earlier than expected. Pointer and Hisabeth will be happy to know you got here safely. Oh, FYI, Pointer was the researcher who introduced me to Laplace. You might have met her before, in Rayashki. She's occupied with a few important visitors right now. We'll talk to her later. As for Hisabeth, you can meet her in person and save me the trouble of an introduction.
She pushes open the door. Meanwhile, on the other side of the building, Pointier enters through another
Our
door.
appointment was set for an hour from now. You're a bit early, sir.
Pointier steps aside, monitoring for the people hurrying behind her to go in first. She studies the quiet girl, not finding anything particularly unusual.
There wasn't much work to do today, and Alia always has everything prepared ahead of anything important. It's nothing to worry about.
Please take a seat. Windsong and Hisabeth will join us later. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me.
Thank you, ma'am. Please call me Kiparina. I have something to ask you.
Ibarina is the first to speak, surprising Pointier. She adjusts her expression, adding a hint of warmth to her smile.
That's fine with me, Miss Kiparina. My name is Pointer. So, what would you like to know?
If I take the offer and complete all the required training, what will I get in return? Do you pay in rubli or something equivalent? And I'd also like to know if my family will receive my pay in case anything happens to me.
Pointier looks up and examines the girl once more. She can read the worry in Mr. Kozlov's face, but she still can't quite place the look on hers. Somewhere between courage and fear, too fine a line for Pointier to draw. Plants and machines crowd the limited space, struggling for balance somewhere between jungle and office floor. warmer here than in the hallway outside. Namegate glances sideways, but Windsong has no intention of speaking. I'm in disco and misfire. Misfire?
Hello? Is anyone there? The materials you sent from the Far East branch have arrived safely. Everything you asked for on your list is there, but you should check it over as soon as possible.
He scrunches around for a clear spot on the desk and pulls a metal vessel from his pocket, revealing a little sleeping salamander aroused from his slumber by a tap on the head and a push of ash into the air.
Hey, wake
serious?
up. You're at work.
You're the one who asked. Elizabeth emerges behind the machinery, also offers a brisk wave to Windsong. It's too late.
Back from the mine
You already asked and I chose.
Party for our new colleagues?
The mine can wait, but I can't. Those materials are top priority.
Now, Elizabeth turns her attention to the young man in front of her.
Thanks. You might have heard of me. My name's Elizabeth. You've read our proposal, haven't you? It'd save me a lot of trouble if you had. I'll catch you up with Pointer as soon as she's available.
To be cringe is to be free. Namely finds himself staring at the curious little snake poking out, swearing he saw one flick its tongue. There's no time to hesitate. Decides to follow proper etiquette. Handshake, then introduction.
Name Day, Foundation Investigator for the Far East branch. Mind if I ask you a question?
Go on, but this is an office, not an interrogation room.
She looks around with an airy glance, and spotting the extra object on the desk, gives the salamander a little second gentle rap on the head.
Why did you ask me to smuggle in this runium?
What?
Don't get me wrong, I didn't report it. It's just... it's odd. You didn't ask for much, just a few pieces. It is a rare resource, I grant you, but I think you could have gotten this amount with no trouble by submitting an application. All you'd need to do is wait for a few weeks. Was it really worth the risk?
Yeah, because we don't have a few weeks to spare.
Saving every bit of time we can is vital. It is as precious as this bag of sunflower seeds from a distant land. You don't find them often in these parts. Here.
She lifts her hand and tosses Elizabeth a small cloth rag.
I've already taken my share. Why not plant some of these in the office? It won't take too much effort. If you're lucky, you'll get to see them turn their heads towards the light bulbs.
Elizabeth pulls out exactly what she was hoping for. Rare arcanum energy, tossed carelessly into the air, caught with practiced ease.
Actually, Mr. Nameday, you're the perfect man for this job. You knew what you were smuggling, you had the perfect excuse to come here, and you were kind enough to help. It was quite the effort to track you down, you know? So, how did the trip go? Any trouble?
You bet there was. Though, I'm still not sure what those bandits were after. The runium, or a noisy arcane item.
There's a shortage of supplies everywhere nowadays. People take what they can, whether they need it or not. Even if they manage to take the cargo, it would probably just end up in another branch of the Foundation or La Paz. Anyway, you saved us a lot of time and resources.
Just bear in mind, this runium is not something that you can replace, even with Sharpadontes.
Thanks, we'll use it sparingly. Please send my gratitude to Miss Villa. And one more thing. What would you say if I asked you to stay? Don't worry, I won't play the Windsong card. It's only a personal request. We could save a lot of time with our procedural work if we had a Foundation investigator on the team. And it could be a great opportunity to earn a reputation. Imagine the prestige if the project ends up a success.
He swallows his words, not intending to explain his reason for being here. Elizabeth's version works just fine, Easy to understand and not too personal.
Are you making any progress?
As much as we can, but we don't have a single Sharpadonti to our name, and this runium is the sum total of all the supplies we've received recently. They told us we could use all the resources left in Placids, but that amounts to jack all. Thankfully, we still have half a rocket, fuel, and a launch button. Still, to make up for the supply shortage, we need additional manpower. Oh, but there's some good news. We don't have to worry about finding our astronaut. We already have a perfect candidate.
We are in dire need of an astronaut. There isn't enough time for anyone to finish the full training course. No one would be able to acclimate to a zero-gravity environment in such a short time, not to mention the high pressure and heat. But you may be the exception, Miss Kipperina. Your arcane skill may allow us to work a miracle. So, if you take the offer, we'll provide you with a salary and try to get you a permanent position here at Laplace. Hisabeth is already working on it. She has a contact in the Foundation who can help with the procedures.
All right then. I have no more questions.
Pointer notes that, despite their thorough examination, the girl seems no less worried.
But, just to be clear, I don't think my arcane skill is as useful as you believe. It only makes a little fireworks show.
She's being modest. You know how children are when they receive a compliment, but I tell you, she is more than willing to take your offer. Please give her an opportunity. You'll see how reliable she is. By the way, another little arcanist girl joined our circus recently. Do you think she could stay with you too?
That's not really how this works. Not everyone's arcane skill works in the same manner.
I think you're gonna want Voyager on your team.
But she would keep Alia company. Please, madam. Alia is still just a child who plays with dolls.
Mr. Koslov, stop! I haven't played with dolls
to my
in
voices. Oh, clearly.
I'm already grown up.
Seeing emotion break through the girl's steady silence at last, Pointer feels she's reached the root of the issue.
We'll take a look at what she can do. Would you be able to bring her here now?
Of course. I'll be right back.
He bolts up and out of the office. In his wake, Kipperina hesitates, shifting in her seat, until at last sitting up straighter. Pointer's smiles fades. There's no need for social niceties when what comes next.
All right, we're finally alone. Now how about you tell me what you are actually thinking?
Our biggest issue remains unsolved, but I'm most certain we can resolve it. The entire project is a mixed bag right now, but I'd say more good than bad. If our little sleepyhead in that pod there can provide what we need, our situation should improve dramatically.
She tips the little vessel, giving the salamander a brief experience of zero gravity.
I was dreaming of cutting a tree on the moon. You'd better have a good reason to wake me up. I'm not your lackey. We made the deal, that's all. And I'm freaking tired after that trip.
Yeah, and about that deal, I need something from you, now. This little pod of yours, it's electrically insulated, heat-resistant, and highly durable against arcane energy. In short, the perfect aerospace material. All I need is to send off a bit of material from it. Don't worry, just think of it as dental work.
Wait, you haven't paid for that yet. A deal is a deal.
She needs a moment to think, but eventually lands on a solution. She hooks a tiny badge the size of a fingernail onto the salamander's tail.
Here's your ID card. Just to be clear, this is only for an internship. You'll need to actually work to earn yourself a permanent one. And don't do anything stupid. I vouched for you, and now both our necks are on the line.
Ooh, it does look good on me. I knew I belong with Laplace. The engineers at the Foundation's 8th branch are way too competitive for my liking. So, what else you need? I brought some records about gunpowder-fueled flight and a few books on Eastern alchemy. Though, I'm not sure you'll be able to read any of them.
As the little salamander chatters on, she flips over its vessel and inspects it thoroughly, before pointing the square markings on the vessel's base. Game? There it goes. The others gather close, unable to resist their curiosity.
What does this mean?
Oh, that? You know, I got this part from the Panjiayuan antique market. It's not a genuine antique, but the craftsmanship is quite excellent. These characters here mean microwave safe. Funny enough, microwave ovens were not that popular when I got it.
You have a salamander? No. I have gecko. And a skink.
Speaking of Panjiayuan, you can't find a flea market as big or as fun anywhere else. If you're ever looking for antiques and collectibles, it should be your first stop. If you want to go take a look, I might just be nice for once and take you.
Little salamander notices their eager eyes. At last, a chance to show off its salesman charm, a moment it's determined to seize. Game?
No thanks. Just making sure it doesn't mean danger explosive. I already learned that lesson from another escapade with an arcane invention.
She returns the dagger she borrowed. Who knows when? Slips the vial of metal power into the desk drawer.
Alright, I've collected enough. You were so busy talking you didn't feel a thing, did you? Now back to our visitor in the checkered pattern uniform. Have you made a decision?
After a brief pause, the question named day asks switches the conversation to an entirely different track.
What are you going to do with the little astronaut when the project's over?
I'll submit her application to Laplace once she agrees to join us. It'd be great if you could help with her employment procedures.
I mean, when are you going to tell her the real consequences of the storm?
Same as always, as soon as she gets a permanent position with Laplace.
Named Day glances at Winsong, thinking she might chime in, offer an explanation at least. She only nods. Just how it is, the little astronaut whom they've never even met, whether too. That pale dome of those cold steel buildings can't protect everyone. Soon the rain will wash away all that's familiar to them, again and again. Whoever's here, I think my dogs realize that too.
Alright. Then I'll stay.
You mean you really want to stay with the circus?
Ipperina doesn't have a straight answer.
I
Sixth
meant
sense.
that I'm willing to do whatever you need. But I don't think I want to do this permanently. Since you say that you need my arcane skill for this project, I'm happy to help. Though I don't really know if I can.
I think you know why Mr. Kozlov brought you all this way. When was the last time you had a proper meal?
Well, we usually have stews. And sometimes Mr. Kozlov will find us some canned food if we're lucky.
Rebutal is soft and utterly unconvincing.
And you still want to spend the rest of your life in that circus?
A knock breaks the silence. Ipperina uses the moment to lift her head. By the time she sits back down, the light that had flickered in her eyes is gone.
This is her, the girl I talked about. She doesn't speak much, but I feel that she has a good character.
The girl casts a sweeping look across the room, pausing briefly on Pointer.
Don't be shy. You can sit next to Alia. What were you talking about? I hope our Alia didn't cause any trouble, madam.
He steps into the room, notices immediately that Kiparina's fixed on the parcel in his hands, filled with things he and Natalia packed, things they thought the girls might need.
Mr. Kozlov, will I ever have the chance to return to Utranyaya?
Boss time. When we move forward, an expensive group photo, usually found in a weathered old frame.
Will I ever have the chance to return to Utranyaya?
Elizabeth pushes the door open just in time to catch the scene. She lingers nearby, curious, watching the girl receive her answer.
We can talk about that in the future.
Can be more true.
Of course, we will keep in touch. You and Voyager can pay us a visit whenever you like. The girl's called Voyager, madam. She's clever, quiet, doesn't eat much. You will take her in too, won't you?
It would be a really good idea to take her in. Pointier doesn't object. She runs a brief analysis and concludes that the company of a peer could help ease the pressure of Kiparina's training. After listening carefully, Mr. Kozlov pats Kiparina's shoulder.
I always hoped you would settle down and live a comfortable life. Promise me you'll do your best, Alia.
Yes, Mr. Kozlov.
Oh,
I don't think there's even
reached an agreement.
I don't think there's even
Looks
a
like I
ban
won't
command
have to
on
do any more
YouTube.
explaining.
Just have to time people out permanently.
If you're saying goodbye soon, maybe you ought to consider bringing her a party gift. She looks like she could use one.
Yeah, something to remind her of home.
Namegay picks up the thread without missing a beat. Windsong steps forward just in time, joining Kiparina's side. Elizabeth trails off.
Or maybe you can offer a few words of encouragement? What do you say?
Mr. Kozlov spies Kiparina, rubbing the device in her hands with her pinky. The one time Windsong has let her early. He knows her well enough to understand the meaning. Nervous. He has no idea about the device's exact value. Certain it's not something you'd easily find in a circus.
Right, a gift. I'll need some time to prepare it. Let's make a deal, shall we? You'll get your gift next time you pay a visit to the Utranyaya. That way, you'll keep us in mind and come home again one day. I was worried you might not want to travel such a long way for us.
I feel, Mr. Kozlov. I'll find my way back to Utranyaya even if you've moved to the other end of the world.
She struggles to lift the parcel Mr. Kovlov gave her. Namegay quickly steps in to assist her in placing it on the table. Time flies. The thought pops into Mr. Kozlov's head. What he says out loud has nothing to do with it.
That's my girl. Remember what I said? Do the best that you can, and have no regrets. Natalia and I don't have to worry about you, do we?
No. I'll give my best performance here, like I always did with Utranyaya.
Almost like she's trying to convince herself. She nods twice in a row, makes a solemn promise in her most serious tone. A question rises up in her, just below the surface. Can't you be sure? She chooses not to ask. And murder time. Gonna put out
In the infinite loop of time.
3 supports.
Stay behind me. I'll keep us safe.
I seriously think that no-name surrogate performer can pull off something this important. Try to read it out so I can not this is my job.
Oh look! Perfectly understood.
3 supports and a sub DPS is perfect
Please,
composition.
allow me. I look forward to punishing you. I shall. I look forward to punishing you. This one.
Always arguing.
Oh, be careful. Think that's what I say.
All forms of power at your fingertips.
Dark and great.
Murdered. Easy game. Going on what they said. Anything that matters now is living up to trust and expectations. (1987).
How do you feel? Intense nausea is common for the first few months of zero-G training.
I think I'm fine. You're very kind to ask, ma'am.
Her first training session was rough and more than a little messy, causing her to throw up. Pointer helped her to an infirmary. Once she could breathe again, she stammered out a request. Just like the one she made today. Is that the storm of 87?
You're at this again? Elizabeth already checked your vitals in arcane skill test reports. Her conclusion was clear. You need to rest and recover before we begin again. If you push yourself too hard and become too sick to perform the mission, that won't help us either.
But I can do more. All I need is a bit more training. I need to perform flawlessly.
We don't need flawless, not at the cost of your health. We need satisfies all requirements, nothing more.
She adjusts her tone, searching her mind for something that might qualify as comfort or encouragement.
You're already doing better than we anticipated.
She fears the words come out too flat, but Keeperina shakes her head sincerely.
Thank you. But I still haven't memorized the flight procedures, and I'm still struggling with my arcane skill. Maybe I can ask Miss Vinsong to give me another ley lines lesson. That's not pushing myself, is it?
That's acceptable. But you will ensure you get a minimum of 8 hours of sleep every day.
Imagine 8 hours of sleep. Pointer gives in. She had once been hell-bent on proving herself.
And promise me you'll eat well and never skip meals.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Isabel
calling
said
you
there
out.
would be a team-building dinner tonight.
Can't believe
I'll
this.
attend it and train for another half an hour after we come back.
No, that's not what I meant.
There are few tasks more difficult than instructing a child who is too mature for her own good. Have to do
Anyway,
wake up today?
Go change. We'll go together.
Oh, well, I woke up about like 7 and fell asleep for another 2 hours. Follow the restaurants in Mirny. This one does not does the best business, thanks in no small part to Elizabeth. With all those mouths to feed, food has always been a vital part of her lifestyle. One that she is only too eager to share with the team. Plus, the tables here are big enough for everyone in the group to have a seat.
We sat here when we first met, no?
I think so. This table seems a bit too small now.
It was enough sleep for me to be awake currently.
Well, there's strength in numbers.
Yet everything now depends on our brave astronaut. How's your arcane skill training?
Not bad, I guess. Miss Winsong is a wise teacher.
I'm glad I've learned something from my experience with Vila. I hope you'll get to know her one day.
You'll have plenty of time to make friends once you return from your mission.
Looking forward to it. But first I have to go back to the circus. I think Mr. Kozlov will have my gift prepared by then. I'm sure he will. Though he didn't come to see me and Voyager this week.
He has a whole circus to run, and you're busy with training. It's hard to find a good time when you are both free. And perhaps he didn't want to make you homesick, but I'm sure he misses you a lot. Mirny isn't far from here. You should go back and visit sometime. No one will blame you if you take a break for a few hours.
I am able to drive you to town, if you need. Just submit your schedule 2 days in advance. I will set some time aside for a short trip.
Thank you. But I think it will have to wait until the project's over. Mr. Kozlov said I would always be able to visit him in the future. Besides, he needs time to prepare the gift.
Not everyone is interested in the still distant future. Keeper and his friend, at least, is more focused on what's right in front of her. She taps the edge of the small vessel, smiling at the crisp, metallic sounds it makes.
Don't do that. The echo from that sound makes me dizzy.
Huh?
She pulls her hand back and watches until confirming the little creature is friendly. She reaches out again, trying to figure out how to get along with it.
Voyager? Don't get distracted. They've almost finished the food.
Impey swaps the food around the table, pushing the two still full plates to the middle. Cold scales press against Kiprina's waist.
Feel like a drink? Here, we've got some hot milk or warm apple cider. Pick one.
I would not trust these snakes with anything. Dragging a cup behind it, the snake's leaf splotches a spilled drink all across the table.
You'll be fine. Thank you.
Kiprina passes another cup to Voyager. She mimics the others by lifting the cup, first in both hands, and just
Let's
one.
have a toast, friends. To our new team. Though no one knows for sure whether our project will succeed or is doomed to fail catastrophically, together we're working towards the future. Cheers!
A friendly signal, a quiet promise of unity. Attract a beautiful woman so I can trust them. Fair. A turning point in any story or relationship. From a stranger to a colleague, eventually.
Having said that, the odds are in our favor. Even though Laplace is no longer in its prime, it still has the best technology and the finest scientists.
The finest scientists? You mean us? I couldn't agree more. I've always believed that perseverance is the most basic fundamental quality that any researcher should possess.
Perseverance. There's only one thing that I think we should persevere with. Our efforts to return to the future.
Didn't know you Laplace researchers missed the good old days so much.
Laugh if you want, but you can't deny that our era was better than this one.
Kibarina keens her ears in, trying to catch each word. The room is warm, the conversation at the table easy and relaxed. Question she's been keeping down finally bubbles out of her mouth.
What was the future like? I've read through the manual for temporary employees. The data we're going to collect may help people get back the things that they lost, right? From the futures that you've been to. What's Leningrad like in 1999? Were there any circus shows in your era? Does that mean everything was better than it is now? I have trouble imagining it. Were there sweets for everyone, and stores that never ran out of food?
Things were much better then. Well, except for the study of ley lines. It was still struggling as a scientific pursuit, especially when it came to attracting new students. Though even now, its only student seems to lack much interest in it.
That's not true. Sorry. I'm just having difficulty focusing on it with all the other demands on my time.
It's okay. Miss Winsong was only making a joke, at the expense of her very overworked student. It's true, things were nicer in the future. I do miss the sweets, and that the shops were never empty.
Every witness seems to offer the same promise. It's worth it. You're in the future. Life should move forward, not stay stuck in the past.
I'm sure we'll make it back one day.
This time, she raises her cup first. Have I even got name gay yet?
The puppy is delighted by your visit.
I do not. Be a shame if I just. Hold on, I actually can get 2 pulls. Probably, yeah. This will put me into 20. That is nothing. What's your Voyager skin?
492760. 48676.
That is. Oh, 5 star. Give me name gay. Uninstalling. Where's your Voyager skin? Right there. I saw some notifications earlier. Just get rid of those.
Come on in,
Burning down an orphanage now.
Always open.
Several. Edit. There's you. You're already maxed. But if you're maxed, then that means I should have that. And 4 star.
Mission accepted. Advice.
To former strangers, the perfect moment to speak in defense about me.
3, 2, 1, cut. And just so we're clear, everything went well as usual.
Game?
The video in this disc, to put it simply, is too much for anyone to
Expecting it to
handle.
autoplay?
Guess what it's used for? Go on, give me the most ridiculous answer you can think of. A little tip. Think like a modern person. The development of technology allows us to save a lot of things as digital data nowadays. Yes, it's a last record. A video is much more convenient than sitting down with a pen.
She placed the data card on the table.
That is secured. Pointer, do you want me to add your part to the video now? Or maybe later?
Preferably never. This whole last record thing is your passion. Besides, I know nothing about material sciences.
But you spent so much time transcoding the incantation. You simply must show up in my video. Please, I insist. We're a team. We shouldn't miss anyone's perspective, no?
Yes.
Even for her, long hours can wear things down. There's a trace of fatigue in her otherwise calm reply, a lag in her response.
Super. Then let's take a look at our work so far and learn from our mistakes. Well, my mistakes.
She knows French. The snake knows French.
Pointer and I had been working on the teleport disc at the Placid's Cosmodrome. More specifically, our interim mission was to determine how to transport supplies to space stations and spacecraft using teleport incantations. The ultimate goal being to achieve stable, safe, and long-distance teleportation to outer space viable for living organisms. The project had been going smoothly until we received some bad news. Due to a policy change at Laplace, most projects in Placid's were being suspended. Fortunately, the bad news was followed by a small amount of good. Madame Lucy said if we could send a monitor to space to collect data when the storm arrived, we'd be allowed to continue with our project. It was a vital opportunity to make our contribution to deciphering the storm.
I sure do wonder which of these two is a playable character or not. There must be pawns on chessboard.
There were only 3 major issues to solve: manpower, energy supply, and determination. As you can see, the first 2 issues have been solved by our new members. Thank you all for your help, especially our brave little astronaut. The plan is now simple. She'll fly into space, reach the required altitude, launch the monitor, and zero in on the correct coordinates. And then she'll contact ground control to come home.
Game?
Her arcane skill will protect her from any possible danger caused by pressure or heat in the vacuum of space. Then finally, she will activate the teleport disc, and we will activate our receiver on the ground. Ta-da! Everyone will arrive in Laplace's Arctic branch safe and sound to acclaim and accolades from all around the scientific world. Well, that's a simple framework of the plan, but we still have tons of minor problems to tackle first. Our top priority is improving the long-distance positioning accuracy of the teleport disc. We've already begun testing our latest prototypes, though the last test didn't end well. We're still searching for the cause of that particular catastrophic error, but we won't let it stop us. This was no more than an inevitable roadblock, a small accident on the way to technological progress.
Elizabeth, if we are going to have any chance of learning from our mistakes, we can't run away from our problems.
Samuel, please.
All right. That last test was a week ago. Same as the last time. Though we've made some improvements, we still need an intelligent creature to run the test. and I guess it'll be me again.
Are you sure? Considering the danger and your value to the project, I think you ought to let me.
How can I ask anyone to try my invention if I wouldn't use it myself? Now, what are you waiting for? Get to the safe zone. Oh, and remember to secure the blast door.
Miss Kipperina asked about the test yesterday as she was feeding the fish. She said she's been able to control her power more now. You'd be much safer with her help. We're a team, right? We sink or swim together.
As the clock strikes the hour, a small figure peeks into the door.
My training just finished. I hope I'm not late, Miss Elizabeth.
Well, we did have a pretty bad accident, but thanks to Kipperina's arcane skill, no one was too badly hurt. Winsong is one cool teacher, and that girl's a phenomenal student. The margin of error remained high, a significant problem for sure. But we'd learned our lesson after spending all that time recovering in the ward. That is, that we should prepare for the worst, so that those who survive will know what to do with, our legacy.
That is a goofy-looking fish tank.
Our last record matters, my friend.
Too, I don't think that's what Pointer meant when she told us to learn from our mistakes.
Before Elizabeth can pinch its mouth shut, Little Snake ducks back into her hair.
Again, I emphasize that safety must come first in the lab. It is my first and most important protocol. Winsong and I left for all of 10 minutes, and by the time we got back, each and every one of you ended up on death's door.
Like, how would you even open this? Because you're gonna need to open it to actually feed the fish. Looks like a TV more than anything. What's the point of this?
And now I find out you've even petitioned for a postponed evacuation. This is getting ridiculous.
You know how tight the schedule is now that the storm emergency plan has been activated, don't you? The silver lining is that now we know that we have exactly 3 months. We can still optimize the procedure and improve the disk and...
Enough, Sylvie!
Pointier cuts her off. Her tone is serious. Based off of Laplace. The Laplace aesthetic is basically like the old-timey version of what future looks like.
Oh, come on, friends. Can we just calm down and discuss our schedule over dinner?
Or like flying cars and overly circular architecture.
I believe Miss Pointer was only trying to suggest a better plan.
I am. I suggest we stop all work on this project immediately.
The young man is caught off balance, unable to find the words to ease tension in the room.
What? Why? The situation really isn't that dire.
Miss Elizabeth is right. We shouldn't be discouraged over one accident, Miss Pointer. The damage wasn't too severe.
Only 3 months left, yet our latest achievement was a total catastrophe. I know what you're all thinking. That the odds are still good, and it's more or less safe to continue. But all that is a weighted gamble. Nothing matters more than your lives.
She knows this all too well. This is not her first time making bold gambles. Never stop gambling.
Without diving into the calculations, it's around a 70% chance in theory. But my logic is screaming something else in my ear.
You don't have to take that risk, Pointer.
I know what I'm doing. Nothing's guaranteed in the world of science.
She closes her eyes, interrupting the playthrough of her memories.
The risk is too high. I can't allow it.
It's not a true high roller.
But it's like we always say, there's nothing guaranteed in the world of science. You never know before you take that fateful step.
Such a firm, matter-of-fact statement. It sounds exactly like something the old Pointer might have said.
My analysis points to a dangerous level of uncertainty in this project. The price of failure, even optimistically, could be much worse than a few days in recovery. There could be more permanent injuries. You could even...
The storm. Pointer scans the room. None of them have known failure. Not yet. Shouldn't have
I've
to.
seen how things...
Finley stops.
places... people just disappear in the storm. You need to stop this insanity before that happens to us. Don't you understand?
I really don't. Why should we stop?
She thinks for a moment. Then a spark of inspiration flashes across her face.
No, you're right. We shouldn't pretend as if it's normal to risk our lives for this. At the end of the day, if we die, our research dies with us. But if something were to happen to the team, you would be the one to survive. That's why I want you to keep our records, to take down everything in case the worst happens. Here.
Pointer looks down at the data card. Machines are only capable of faithfully recording and playing data. They can't interrupt meeting. They certainly cannot understand the reckless choice of human being. Those who come after might skim through logs and learn how to play the team. Chose collaborated and parted ways. But what about everything outside of the frame? Temperature of the lab, the taste of a restaurant's signature dish, the hesitation she feels right now. No device can preserve those details, only memory can. Some need to move forward, others need to stay behind. She doesn't look up and never reaches for the disc.
And I won't submit this petition for you. I can't stand by and let you kill yourselves. I'm done. I quit.
Assume that means that we're about caught up to where we were in the first chapter.
In the infinite loop of time.
Skipperina is about to get hurt somehow.
Experience all this over and over again.
She's not a true gambler. Jane's about to come in. Action according to game. Using your what here?
All eyes.
Oh, perfectly understood.
A blessing bestowed by fate.
Takiarka, it's it. I'll be right here. Please, allow me. Bye. Don't worry. It's been proven safe. Stay back, I say.
We need simply rely on the microphysics of power.
The stars, but I will be watching you.
And murdered. Another wave? Because you're intending on distinct unit.
All the way.
Or I can just not an auto.
Ridiculous.
No use in avoiding it.
I love being able to ignore game mechanics. I should be able to do a bit better. Everything is dead. Oh?
Finally, it's just you and me, Master.
Freezing rain? How could you possibly expect warm rain to fall inside a greenhouse?
The name is Pointer, researcher in the LSCC Plesetsk branch. The reason I joined. The same reason I quit. Nothing matters more than people's lives. All the research I've done has been for one purpose: to make people's lives better.
Pointer, there you are. How's everything going?
Winsong doesn't mind her quitting. Whenever she runs into Pointer at the branch office, she always stops for a few words, often with updates on the aerospace team.
I heard you're busy with the evacuation. Seems many stores in Mirny have already closed up.
As soon as I finish the handover here, I'm heading back into town to help with packing, coordinating, and explaining the situation to the locals. Same old, same old.
Same old, same old. You know, Hisabeth said that exact thing when I asked about the team's progress yesterday. They seem to be doing all right.
Yeah, I just realized that Caperina is, in fact, not going to be able to serve the circus again, considering it's about to not exist anymore.
Good.
Winsong takes a small bag out from her coat, nudging the conversation in a
by the
lighter
way,
direction.
I've got some seeds left. Do you want to take them off my hands?
Do I look like a gardener to you?
Well, it's just that I heard from a few people here in Mirny that a Laplace researcher was giving out sunflower seeds. And it wasn't me, so I've been wondering just who it could have been. Don't you want some? Seriously, everyone loves them.
On the day Pointer left Pleasant, she handed out these seeds to everyone she passed. What was she thinking? She wanted to break all ties, stop herself from turning back. She keeps this bag, saving it for the right
Thanks.
moment.
So, who ended up signing the application?
Hisabeth will, when she goes to collect the monitor and report our research to Ludwig. She says it's more likely to get approval that way.
They don't know when to stop, do they?
They don't know the meaning.
Flashbanged.
Stop. If the fish get startled, then they won't eat anything.
I see, Miss Elizabeth.
She sprinkles the She sprinkles the fish food carefully over the water
I finished
surface.
the full inventory check. There's more runium left than we thought. Now, where should I put these useless old files? I was thinking we could use them for draft paper.
Where do they pour it
Maybe
exactly?
you can turn them into a knife or something. A knife would be more useful at this point. You know, to cut fruit or whatever.
Actually, that card there on the table would work better for that.
Why's that?
It's all about the material. Metal makes a better edge than paper. Never quite understood why you made them like that.
Oh, I was testing out a new alloy. I used it to make Winsong's and Pointer's cards. It gets harder and sharper when heated. Give it a rub with your hands and you can use it as a letter opener.
Their words trail off. They've been trying not to bring up Pointer's departure, and like everything is just as it was.
The ritual still isn't stable enough. We need a specific location or area to set as a destination in advance. But first, we need a way to pinpoint a recognizable area. The formula should be...
Miss Winsong sent me a message. She said, don't forget to collect the monitor.
Oh, she sent it to you too? Tell her I said thanks. No, that number doesn't look right.
I tried my best. But those arcane minerals you were asking for are scarce as all hell. I haven't been able to find a single supplier.
Then we'll carry on without them. That's it. No, wrong again. Pointer was the master of numbers. With that brain of hers, she'd have had this over and done by now.
A sound from the corner of the room draws her attention. Voyager is stacking a piece of mineral shards into a wobbly tower. She's just like me. Autism. In the lamplight, The peak sparkles, strangely
Careful,
mesmerizing.
don't hurt yourself. They're more powerful than they seem.
Voyager nods with a vague but accepting gesture, and Elizabeth turns back, ready to focus on the data. The fragile silence is broken, and other words spill out.
Miss Elizabeth.
The little would-be astronaut walks over to her and stands beside Elizabeth. It's rare for her to approach so closely.
I have a question for you. Sorry if it's not a good time, but it's important to me. And it's something I hope you'll answer honestly.
Startled by the coming topic, Nameday broke the fish tank accidentally. He scrambles to scoop up the spilling fish from the floor.
Sorry, ladies, please ignore me. I'm not here, and I didn't hear a thing.
Но если я заплачу, мисс Киперина, умная молодая девушка, неудивительно, что она быстро во всем разобралась. Вы согласны?
Just like me. Elizabeth looks down at her. The unturned face is young, but so very determined.
So, what's your question?
Miss Pointer said something before she left about places and people disappearing into the storm. It's hard to believe that she would ever give up on our mission, unless she knew the price of failing was truly horrible. Then the storm can't just be some normal kind of natural disaster. This storm will destroy everything, won't it?
She doesn't even know how long that question has sat in the pit of her chest. In her glass marble eyes, Elizabeth sees a brightness welling up. She doesn't know how to respond. A silence can be an answer too, and the girl understands.
All the people we know, all the bears, birds, this fish, everything, the lost future that you talk about. Was it the first to disappear? Or are there more that have been lost? Will the same thing happen to our time?
I believe this is dawn of the third storm.
Things are much worse than you let on. What else has changed in the future?
The light in her eyes never fades. Not completely. Kipperina has long understood that tears won't change anything.
Many things changed. Some things won't last nearly as long as people think they will. For you, the world might seem to have turned upside down, but life will go on.
Pointier is gone. Winsong has her own geological surveys. Now that everyone's left seems to be looking to Elizabeth for answers. She tries to choose her words deliberately. She has hardly ever been comforted, so she doesn't know how to confront others.
So, now that you know what's at stake, are you ready to officially join Laplace? I'm afraid there is still a great deal I cannot tell you until then. Many of the answers you're seeking are classified, for employees only.
Pardon me, Miss Elizabeth, but given the danger of the mission we are expecting Kipperina to perform, I think she has the right to know what the storm really is.
Boy had a piece of flex before the storm of 87 hits.
I understand that you don't want to go against Laplace's rules, but I'll bet there aren't any rules against me figuring it out, and you simply nodding. Am I right?
Elizabeth nods, so Kipperina goes on.
I won't get to see Mr. Kozlov or get that gift in the future.
Oh, they will be dead.
If I join the Plus, I won't see anyone from Utranyaya ever again.
She hesitates, but at last nods it again.
The choice is yours. I won't force you to do anything. Remember the day we first met in the restaurant? I said I would write you a recommendation. I was serious. I still am. In fact, it's already done. Winsong has signed on to it too. And our Foundation friend behind you is prepared to offer another guarantee, just in case. We will make a recommendation for your friend Voyager as well, but that's all we can do. I'm afraid we can't protect everyone, nor can we make this decision for you. Do you want to keep going?
The question isn't just for Kiparina. If they recover the data, if that data's any good, maybe someday no one will have to worry about the storm ever again. But what if they put their lives in jeopardy and gain nothing from it?
If you don't, you'll be allowed to return and accept what's to come. But if you join us, there is a chance to change things.
That is her. That is her answer. The only answer she needs to keep going. And second boss? Yes. Poems come by chance. I am grateful for the times I felt exhausted and uninspired. I'd never put down my pen. Silence has weight, like sand piling layer on layer on one's chest. Eventually, it suffocates. The sobs barely register. 2 or 3, snuffed out before they can burst.
I will complete my mission.
She speaks with clarity, as if making a solemn vow.
And if I successfully come back with the data, I'll consider joining Laplace. But I can't make a decision now. I need more time to think. I will stay until my job is done. You don't have to worry about that. That is what Mr. and Mrs. Kozlov and my friends in the circus would all want. It is the right thing to do. If you'll excuse me, I should return to my training. I'll see you later.
She's already on the move before the last word is spoken, leaving behind another layer of suffocating silence. It doesn't take long before someone else tries to wiggle out from it too.
Us too. Need to double check the warehouse inventory. Might find something useful.
Wait, haven't we done that already? Those...
Alright, we'll let you know if we find anything.
They leave the room one after another. In the corner, Voyager seems entirely unsure of what to do.
Join them if you want. I have some unfinished business.
Moments later, the last light-footed silhouette exits the room. And what I miss? Depression. Kiparina being faced with the reality that all of her friends and family are about to die in 2 months. Just from some fun stuff. The familiar. Not a true gambler and left the team. Yeah, that too. The familiar gold glance rests at the far end of the hallway, her head lowered against the wall. Voyager tries to approach but hesitates, stopping mid-step. She looks around to make sure the hallway is empty, then lifts her violin onto her shoulder. Tears real.
Alia.
She spoke. Name Gay? Name Gay is alive? The music strings and her voice twist together like a trembling
Was that you?
thread.
Did you just say my name? You weren't up to...
She sees those flickering sparks. Her voice falters. Then, a heartbeat. Voyager resumes her usual appearance.
Stars. Good. Alia. Happy.
Elizabeth has the office to herself for once. But the progress she has hoped would come is still elusive. After yet another failed calculation, she sets her pen down and reconsiders her goals.
These calculations need to be finished today. The teleport ritual requires the caster to recite the location. It could be understood as calibrating in a way. Let's continue with that thought. The destination must be preset, and the ritual casts through incantation. But the further the distance, the harder it is to stay on target. If only there were an arcane reaction strong enough and unique enough to calibrate to.
It's only then she notices the strangeness of the movement, which is abruptly broken by the arcane energy monitor. It's out an ear-splitting alarm. A blinding light flashes across the entire screen, then cuts out. The instrument detects in radius is small, barely beyond the hallway nearby. She narrowly avoids a full-on collision in the doorway. She catches herself, using the girl's shoulder.
What happened? Are you alright, Miss Isabeth?
Was that you? Did you cast that arcane skill just now? No, those energy levels were too high for you, beyond most arcanists. Who was with you just now?
You aside.
Voyager. She was just trying to make me feel better. Did it interfere with your experiments? I apologize, Miss Isabeth. I promise it won't happen again. She just left. If you want to find her, I'll go with you.
Are you saying she was the one that cast that arcane skill?
Yes. It was so pretty. It was like
a neutron star.
It's obvious that the concept is far beyond Keeperina. She tilts her head expectantly.
It's a type of highly magnetized star that emits powerful beams that can be traced to show us its precise location. We call them the beacons of space. Such a strong arcane reaction would be so bright that it'd be trivial to locate even from an extreme distance.
I don't know much about space, but it sounds like a difference between finding a star in the sky and looking for the sun. But then the universe is also very big. I imagine if you were looking from far enough away, even the sun would seem small.
Merde, I'm afraid you're right. When comparing all the stars in the observable universe, our sun is far from the largest or brightest, only the closest. We can't assume proximity in our case. But then, there's still got to be a way, no?
Capturing the fleeting aura, she propels a new train of thought forward.
Before the storm arrives, the levels of arcane energy in all affected areas will be greatly amplified. But what about places that won't be affected? Perhaps then the trick will not be to look for the light in darkness, but for the darkness in the light. Like finding a dim bulb in a string of Christmas lights.
Elizabeth places her hand on Kiparina's shoulders and makes a promise.
If that's the case, I can adjust the portion of runium in order to focus
Have you
the
played
kiss
Maside?
precisely on Placets.
I've watched my friend play it, but I have not played it myself.
If this works out, then I guarantee you will arrive home safe and sound.
Understood. Take care.
Play it on stream. She ends the call, waves at the silhouette walking her way.
What are you up to?
I've been communicating with the garrison in Mirny. They've picked up some abnormal critter activity during their patrols. Another batch of residents is set to evacuate too. I'll head over to help them shortly. What about you? Your geological survey? Are you staying at the branch, or will you head back to HQ?
Scared, really.
Haven't found anything that's worth digging up yet, but I've decided to give it another try. Should be back here in time for the evacuation. Though I'm hoping to stick around for my little apprentice. She said she'll only give us her decision on joining Laplace once she's back from her mission. I can't wait to hear the good news. You still pretending not to care?
My concern, whether it exists or not, will have no tangible effect on their results. I just hope they don't kill themselves for nothing.
Hisabeth is planning a final teleportation test the day after tomorrow. I'll be observing from the meeting room. You know, the one we always use upstairs? Early in the afternoon.
I'll likely be in Mirny by then.
A brief silence follows. In this pause, Winsong deftly shifts the topic to the conspicuous glass tank in the crowd.
Hey, Ulrich. We meet again. You look even worse than when we last met.
Ah,
He returns.
And Pointer? What have we here? Two of our busiest bees working together in the Plessist branch?
Pointer has no idea why Ulrich looks even worse. His expression, as ever, is nigh unreadable, so she simply nods to him.
So when is this humanitarian vacation of yours over? Any interest in sparing a little time to watch something fun?
If by something fun you mean Dimitri's party, then thanks, but no thanks.
No, not that. I told you about it before. Hisabeth's teleport disk experiment.
Ah, yes, that one. You know, word of it is already spreading through HQ and all the other branches.
And? What's the impression?
I wouldn't categorize it as good, but it has certainly become a contentious topic.
Giving everyone categories.
At least one of the bigwigs is supportive, Madame Lucy. It seems she intends to keep our experiment going either way. She even invited a prominent string theory researcher to HQ. As I said, even if we don't get the results we hoped for, the work itself can be illuminating.
I mean, I'm assuming this has to work, since this is before Chapter 1 and the teleportation discs were prominently used there. Girls are getting cat ears. Silent researcher at last offers a wave to attract the attention of the room.
Excuse me, I have obligations to attend to. Let's talk again later.
She walks off, leaving Ulrich and Winsong to watch her as her figure passes into the hallway and away. Several minutes pass, then Winsong gasps.
Bean, I forgot my badge, and Pointer's gone. How am I supposed to get back to the lab? Sorry, Ulrich. Do you mind walking me back? By the way, you didn't answer whether you'll be at Hisabeth's experiment.
And it's murder time.
Stay behind me. I'll keep us safe.
No. He'll know what to do.
Oh look, perfectly understood.
A wonderful dream.
We're not afraid of you. You have a little faith in me, Master.
Always.
This card should do.
All forms of power at your fingertips.
Oh look, here's another.
Always arguing. Ridiculous.
Family stock and grace.
Perhaps even the stars in the cosmos have songs to sing too. Yoink. It's enough for one more bowl. And nothing.
Hello, I'm Lisa.
You already stole my ceiling. You will get no compensation. No way. Name gay. He looks different though. Concerto. Hissing snakes. Crackling sparks. Measuring tapes. A crow. The glass fish tank. A mess but full of life and sound. Like a pair of twins. Mitosis. There's not much difference in the lab today. Even though the others had tried to tidy up the clutter, any attempts at organization are doomed to fail here. Elizabeth pushes the last stack of files to the corner of the table and steps back to survey her work.
I'm ready. Remember to stay within the safe zone. The medical team is helping with the evacuation, so we need to be extra careful this time.
Miss, are you sure I shouldn't be the one doing this? I've mastered my arcane skill. I'll be able to protect myself.
No. Look at all the files here. They might give you a paper cut. It's an unacceptable risk for our astronaut. Even the slightest abrasion could explode under the pressure of liftoff. No need for concern. We've done the simulations and cross-checked the data thoroughly. To aid in the disk's mental preparation, I even read Madame Lucy's speech and some Laplace essays on the scientification of arcane skills.
But...
Kiparina.
Elizabeth's tone is formal, far more serious than she is known for in any other situation. Kiparina backs straightness.
Take the others behind the blast door. I'll use my arcane skill to protect the field as much as I can. In order to maintain communication, you'll need to stay behind that door, or else the signal will be disrupted. But with my arcane skill, the risk should be minimal.
But if something goes wrong, what will you do?
I will take care of myself. The only thing I ask is that you pay close attention to what I do. Because in the worst case scenario, if you find yourself out there alone, you'll need to be able to perform this intuitively.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Maybe, but it's still too early to give up, little astronaut.
She gives her a gentle push on the shoulder, nudging her back. The automatic door begins to close. She doesn't finish her sentence before the door is shut completely.
Enough talking. We don't have time for any dramatic farewells. Wait, whose idea is this? Couldn't be Pointer's. She packs meticulously. Let me guess. Winsome?
She reads the word on the ID, smiling smugly at her confirmation.
I knew it. How is she gonna get back into the lab?
Before activating the disc, she hangs the unexpected find around her neck.
I'll just have to surprise her with it later.
In the empty meeting room, Ulrich and Winsong take up space on opposite sides of the door. No one feels like sitting at the uncomfortable conference table without a good reason.
Where would you place their odds? Perhaps more importantly, is there any guarantee the data they collect will elucidate meaningful truths behind the storm?
You know as well as I do, Laplace hasn't mastered the art of prediction. We don't offer guarantees. Besides, maybe our demon already knows how this all ends. But I'd rather not. Personally, I hate spoilers.
As do I.
Ulrich shrugs, about to continue the conversation by mentioning a neat bit of tech he's recently looked into, when a strange but familiar voice cuts in.
Slackers!
Yes, I've found the room. Thank you.
Bird. Ulrich's voice modulator stutters for a moment before finally spitting out the name.
Is that Adler?
Mr. Ludwig?
Winsong looks stunned. Ulrich, clearly confused, flashes a giant mark. The raven perched on the monitor's head tilts down its own curiosity.
I'm glad to see you're so devoted to our research, and I thank you for your hard work.
Perfect.
I'm here to deliver the storm monitor on behalf of Madame Lucy. Given our lack of resources and time, we were forced to modify an existing device to perform as our monitor. It was originally a robotic assistant, something to set daily schedules and work reminders. You already noticed Adler's voice. It's synthetic, of course. His colleagues originally developed this machine for him as a humanitarian gesture. It was trained to mimic his voice, an attempt to keep him social. It ultimately proved ineffective in that role, so now it will serve as our monitor.
I understand. Given the circumstances, recycling resources is wise. Though I struggle to see how a robotic assistant could be a humanitarian gesture.
Your appreciation is noted, and I supposed you might. In fact, this vacation Madame Lucy sent you on to Plesetsk is a kind of humanitarian gesture on her part. Perhaps she hopes you'll gain a deeper understanding of the term.
The raven, pleased with the silence, offers no further input. Winsong taps a few times on the monitor, smiles at her new discovery.
Mind if I take a closer look? Wow, there are a lot of voice packs programmed into this thing. How to temper steel. Madame Lucy's voice, I'd bet. And then what else is here? Sweetheart? The superstar? Oh, and Sputnik 1 too. Warm and fluffy company. Who could that be?
Barbara, maybe? That's not Barbara.
What a waste of time. Why would a monitor need a critter's voice in space?
Maybe they just put it in for fun. It could be useful to relieve a little stress. Oh, perfect timing. Hisabeth has entered the testing grounds.
Field report. I activated the disk, but it's not working. There must be an error in its incantation. Oh, the indicator is red. So then it must still be accumulating arcane energy. It may be calibrating its position within the range I set. But what about all this excess energy? I worry it might not just transport me, but half the office.
Any last words? If you explode, I call dibs on your fish.
Have some patience. It's doing something.
She shakes the disc once or twice, but when she stops, continues to tremble violently. The entire office begins to rattle along with it. The fish in the eco-tank dart anxiously.
Bad news. I don't think any of those fish are gonna survive.
Poor fish. Flashbanged again. Before the floor starts to ripple, the monitor scoots itself out of the hallway for safety. Winsong slams her back against the wall to steady herself. Looking up, She sees Uro's glass tank vibrating, its contents scattering its tiny
I hear you
particles.
brainstorming, Ulrich. It's oddly literal.
The sound of shattering glass immediately has Wingsong turn to Carly, confirming that Ulrich is still secure inside his case. The noise appears to have come from instead from a fish tank falling and...
You know, Hisabeth, there's gentler ways to make an entrance.
The voices around her, whether in her headset or her ears. The fish! Not the fish! The poor fish tank. Aside from the poor fish that were flung from their stone tank. The fish flopping on the floor, and slow, except the one that's landed seriously in Ulrich's tank.
Poor fish. I attempted to
consume
turn my
the fish?
aquarium into fireproof ceramic to keep it safe, but it looks like it just made it easier to shatter. Wait.
Low gravity. Mention of hurricane skill triggers a panic. She glances down at the object she's been handing to Winsong. Heavier than it should be. It was B.I. Laplace's first ID badge with a ceramic strap.
Uh-oh, I forgot about this. Luckily, it didn't affect the card itself.
She blinks, letting the shimmer of her arcane skill fade.
That's a unique design. Thanks. It might make for a nice conversation piece.
Ulrich is busy saving the poor fish swimming atop his head, dropping it back into the tank.
Congratulations, Miss Hisabeth. Your results appear more than adequate. Indeed, you have exceeded my expectations.
Poor
Is
fish
that
getting
stuff
bullied.
You have to stock for good job? Merci all the same.
Congrats. So does your success here mean my lovely apprentice has a chance to land back on Mother Earth safely?
More than a chance now. Though I'm afraid the adjustments we've made to the process will be impossible to replicate at scale.
Nonetheless, you've convinced me.
The raven rolls toward them and on its mechanical perch.
Your application for delayed evacuation is approved.
The cheers in his vest headset reach her before she's finished processing the words.
But I haven't even submitted it yet.
Well, you may submit it now.
So, that's why you're back here with that torn-up application form? I gotta tell you, it's impressive you managed to piece it back together.
All eyes fall on the thin sheet of paper, held together with tape and barely legible.
At least I learned something from it. Don't teleport paper products without a protective sheet.
They seem so close to success. I will keep training. I need to stay at my best for our lunch day.
Voyager taps Keeperine on the shoulder, doing her best to express her opinion.
I know. I won't push myself too hard. Thanks, Voyager.
We don't have much time left. Remember to rest too while you still can. You should take a day off. Consider it a celebration of our successful experiment.
Actually, I believe Miss Isabeth already has plans for me. We still have a lot of work to do.
Keeperina holds her stare on the pondering researcher, expectantly seeking her input.
Plans? Yes, that we do. I need to train you to use the monitor. You will have to confirm the final coordinates on the disk and be able to perform the final safety checks before launching. Oh, I think it may be necessary to implement a particular procedure that Ludwig mentioned. A humanitarian vacation.
Well, that's a good place to stop. Little over halfway done. Do one pull. I don't have the funds for one pull. Actually, I can get the funds real fast. Just spend me.
Stay behind me. I'll keep us safe.
If I finish dailies, that should give me enough for one more.
Get away.
Scope.
In the name of darkness, Blue will foresee your ending. Get away.
If I tap this account for day one, I'm definitely not selling it.
Feel my dark embrace. You are not welcome here. Your punishment will come. We're not afraid of you.
You're not half bad.
How close did that get me?
It's raining.
Good enough. First, I go here and buy time. 2023, October 26, 2023. It's been a long time. Can do one more pull now. And it's just the fourth. You're out of 2023.
Y'all want some fries, burgers, or apple martini?
Love gambling. Well, then stream that crap. Presumably, game came out global on October 26th. Yep. Released October 26th. You already took my ceiling. Then I'll take your floor. How much longer is on my thing? Whatever it is. Monthly. My landlord took everything. 13 days left. Actually, could spend the money on Roaring Moon. I have 13 days left on my subscription. Before I end stream just yet, I've been meaning to try to actually test if I just fully close my VTuber if Geometry Dash won't lag. Gambling stream. do not have the actual money. So, to here.
A healthy body is a
And close the game. And to remember, chat, if you're ever having a bad day, just remember that tomorrow could be a good day. It's a gamble. And once you realize you're gambling, you'll be happy again. Because gambling is awesome. Here. Right. And I just want to test that if I close myself down, if Geometry Dash will stop lagging. You lose 100%? Okay, well you can win 5,000%. True. Despawn. I am testing the theory that if I close my VTuber, then this won't lag. This for like 2 minutes. Just test. 1 FPS apparently. Okay, that is not a good start. It is seeming like the answer is no. Is there LDM? The LDM is on right now. Removes the BT. Nah. I mean, it's technically a little better, but I'm still consistently not where I should be. CPU once. That it did. Hasn't done that recently though. It's completely closed down right now. This PC explodes. it's still like consistently at least 10 down. You in the bottom right. Do I still have my PNG? It's not the right PNG. I need to clear this out. Seems that I do not. You know what, there? I don't know why I just have that. Left and set the right. Over the course of like a month, I'll just slowly move myself from the right to the left. Wait, whatever. It's slightly better. Still not great. The middle of the screen. Let me check what the laggy parts will be at. As long as the laggy part doesn't go below like 135-ish, then that should just be good enough to practice on stream. You rotated my suspend. Yeah, I am upside down. Where? No, whatever, we're just putting it into. There. The blue portal. Not terrible. It's at least playable like this. So hard. It has been nerfed. There's that much. I mean, this copy is also a little nerfed, even more than that. I've gotten to the point with this level where like every 1,000 attempts I just nerf it slightly more. I just want this to be done. Did you change? I think the only like main difference is right that little mini ball part has a different click pattern. Like, demon. What most definitely still is. Especially considering that most levels are like a solid minute long instead of 4. Well, it is slowly getting nerfed. I'm still probably gonna end up nerfing this section a bit more. Just nerfing it at this point. I want to be done with this level. But other things, I am just doing simple block design for this. This should be done in like next few days. So I'm just doing simple. Verify the level. It's gonna be an interesting video, I don't know. Oh yeah, also speaking of which, I started another Teto layouts. I actually just lay out right now. But I started further. I'm just gonna click. A lot of not much right now. Have started yet another. That is certainly a level. Not a level, that is certainly a video. I saw. Certainly an interesting title. Enough of that. Does not know its direction. Oh, yeah. Gonna go ahead and thank you all for watching. Yasumi.